It says I'm live, and it said that I was already live.
Yes, I know, but anyone know what?
Sorry, guys, we're winging it. Because it said that I was already live, and then I clicked on that one, and it said go live. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to get a stand over here. Oh, Lord. Yeah, Mama, we're having learning session. It's like school, Grace.
but better?
Maybe better. Okay. So, but is it my same live stream? Like how I'm live here on my other one on the computer, does that count as the same one? Or is it two separate lives? But if I end the other one, I won't see. Oh, wait. Oh, I can end the computer one and just leave this one. Is that what you're saying? But should I just have both of them on? Or does it matter? Oh, so for next time, I can start on the computer and then I can go to the vertical. But shouldn't I have both of them going at the same time? Sorry. Give me 1 sec. Okay, and the computer one. Can you see me on the other one, Kate? But Kay would still have to come over from there. So whoever's in that live stream, if I end it, then I kick them out. I think. And I don't want to kick them out. But now that's good to know. So once you go live, I think, so once you go live, you can sign into your phone one and then do the vertical. Now there's 5 people in that one. 15 people. Thank you, fathead. I can't get down before you fall. Okay, do you see it over there? I don't want to end this if you're still over there, Kate. Okay, don't jump, please. Watch your show.
Baby.
So, okay, so you're here. So I'm going to end this one and see what. Look at my kid jumping in the background. I'm a killer. So, but if I end that stream, it won't kill me here? Sorry, we're really learning here. Sauda, welcome. See you. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Okay, look at my kid in the background. Okay, let me end this.
What? Mom, what do you... Mom, why are you saying that that's a new thing? To your pet. What are you already left for?
So, but my... Yeah, I can see that. But my... But so, I guess my question is, because that one was scheduled, was my accountability live? Right? It was to teach the accountability, what am I trying to say? Is it still a continuation of this live, or is that one now over and this is just a new live? Because what I was trying to do is the episode 2 of accountability. So I guess we'll kind of have to figure it out. But then I have to join both lives. I guess it doesn't matter. It's just so I know for next time. Always do this one. But how do I do it on the computer? So it's got to be in the settings somewhere, right? I don't want to overlay. I'm trying to just see. So, yeah, I ended the computer one already. See, this one says 5 now, and that one says 7 views. Oh, but I see. It's just people popping in and out. So, but now, I know you're telling me the right thing. That's the settings. How do we do it in the computer to make sure it's over horizontal? So, I don't even have a computer. Then my live will automatically be vertical. I think so. I think so. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to understand because so I'm better off just to go live from my phone and not even set it up, and then I can add the stuff. Ron Jackman said hi. Hello, welcome. Okay, let's start. I'm sorry, Kay. We're learning. So we have to learn as we go. However this happens, okay. So basically just go live from my phone all the time. I can do that. I'm totally okay with that. I just didn't know that. And then I just have to retitle it after. Whatever. We'll figure it out after. We're winging it. So now that we've had our fun time, we're talking about alchemy of motion, which is the sacred side of anger. So if you go to my other playlist, Miss Grace, you know better. One. Yeah, see, you said you can do it even in your computer. That's the part that I'm missing. I don't know how to do that. So if I could, when I go live, I have to, is there a setting? Pardon me. Is there a setting that tells you, yeah, it's really good. I'm not judging. I just want to know how to do it on my computer. Because to do it vertical, I want to try. I tell them to double tap and subscribe. Oh yeah, what she said. Make sure to do that. Right now we're trying to talk about alchemy and motion, but now I'm focused on learning. Yeah, they pop in and out even for a minute. So what it's doing is putting them in like you're going up basically as the shorts. I would think like how the shorts would kick out to the algorithm. But that's from my phone. I want to know how to do that from my computer. Or maybe I should just go live from my phone every time. Yes, we're learning. Kay is the sweetest lady. You should see my plants. I don't want to get up and mess up the live now that I'm going, but tomorrow I'll do this too because I do my check-ins and I do the energy check-in, the cards and stuff. I'm just not sure how, but it won't be till after church, right? So maybe I'll wait until Goga's almost done and then I'll go live right at the very end or something. Because I'm supposed to be doing the energy check-in, but everything got backed up each day. So this one, I'm going to move over a little bit. So the alchemy of motion, that's what we're talking about today. And I'll either join the two lives together or whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So basically, anger gets labeled as negative, but it's actually information. And in the first part of the series, the Fire and Flow series, that's kind of where you got to understand that. We're figuring out what the information is and how to get there. Go live vertical. Yeah, I just got to figure it out from the... Because when you say go live on YouTube on the computer, it doesn't give you the option. Oh, I can see my face. I don't know. We'll figure it out for the next time. Because otherwise I'll be here all day trying to figure it out. It just doesn't it doesn't give you that option. It says go live, upload video. But when you go live, it's got to be on this. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm looking for the settings. See, because here it says it's guide me is live. So can I go type mobile? Because it shows up as mobile. Hi, Claude. How are you? Sorry, we're trying to figure out. I don't know what that means. Okay, I'm not gonna fuck with it right now, but we will figure it out. It's very cool, and the settings. I'll make sure I look at it on the computer when I'm done here, so I don't leave you guys going all crazy. Why are you growling, kid? So, the alchemy of motion is what I've been teaching. This one is alchemy of motion. I gotta fix my phone. I wasn't prepared for my beautiful stardom here. So this one, yes, last week was the rage as a teacher too. Today is the sacred side of anger, which is talking a lot more about understanding what it's trying to teach us. What boundary was crossed. That makes sense. I'm definitely going to look into it for sure. And if it's a struggle, I'll just go live from here. I was trying to do it from my phone, but because I already created the live in the computer, it didn't let me. So there's got to be a way. I just haven't figured it out yet. But we'll get there. We will get there. All right, so the first thing was the fire and flow. If you go back to my other series, and they're all in playlists, you can check them out. The fire and flow was the information, noticing what the emotion was teaching us, and just noticing, just understanding, getting curious. Why did that come up? Why is that making me struggle? It was just 12:34 as I said that, which is divine timing. And if something makes you angry, it just means that something inside of you cares. And then what we were talking about before we started messing around there was grace in the grind, right? This is the part, feeling anger doesn't make you bad. Suppressing anger is what gives you the struggle, because when you suppress it and you hold it back, you're not feeling it, you're not validating yourself, you're just saying, nope, that shouldn't be, and I don't want to deal with it, and then you pile it back, and then you explode. Then when you explode, you go into guilt, fear, shame, anger, all of that cycle, and then you go into self-sabotage. And the whole idea is we want to avoid that and just make a different choice. So we're not going into self-sabotage. When we create that stable foundation, we don't go underneath it. We're always going to come back to here no matter what, which means that we always have a tool in our tool belt. And that's what this is trying to teach. When we give ourselves grace, when we take that 5 minutes for tea, when we close our eyes and breathe in and out and say, it's going to be okay, and you did really well, you didn't explode today, you were great to somebody else, you were kind, even when you were angry, you took that moment, you knew that you couldn't deal with 100 people today, so you made the decision to maybe stay at home and do something in the garden, do something at home instead of going out into the chaos of all these people. That was a really good choice, and giving yourself grace in that, because you're starting to understand what your capacity is, so you don't put yourselves in those situations. You already do it on a lower level. It's not that you don't do it well, it's that you don't notice it. And the idea is, if I can get you to notice that you're already doing it, just a little bit here and just a little bit there, and you notice it a little bit more, you get better at it. It's just like anything you start practicing, you pay attention to, you're going to get better at it. So if I can get you to notice and understand it, that you're already doing it, then what's going to happen? You're clearly going to do better, right? And you're going to start showing up more, and you're going to start celebrating yourself. And you're going to say, man, I deserve to be angry. I'm allowed to be angry. I feel valid in being angry. But do I need to blow up on somebody else that doesn't deserve it? That's you saying, I'm allowed to feel what I feel. But I also am responsible enough to say, it's not their responsibility to handle what I'm feeling, right? Like the other people have not, it's not for them to deal with, right? So that's where you've already noticed what it is. You've understand the anger. You've given yourself grace. You're already being accountable because you're saying my capacity does not allow for this or this. So in those moments, you're really creating a space of um, safety for yourself, a space of observation, and all that extra energy that comes from the anger doesn't just dissipate. It's still there, right? But what happens is now you have the accountability part, and that's the choice, right? That's what is this anger trying to teach me? What boundary is being crossed? What needs to change? And what is the next responsible next step? So you've given yourself grace. You have all this pent up emotion and all this energy. But now what are you going to do with it? Now you can be like, man, I can research. Oh, look, I can learn how to grow something. I can create content. I can go read a book. I can learn. I can learn how to advocate for myself. I can build something. Like, were you here when I showed Anastasia the tree set? Hold on. Oh, let me try to do it without hopefully not hanging this up. Look outside. That's that's Grace's place that we built. That's what we spent last week building, which is pretty cool. Uh-oh, I'm trying to do stickers or something. There you go, we got it. That's what I spent my time building. So taking the energy and using it to something that is beneficial to you, whether it's learning, whether it's sharing, whether it's advocating for yourself, digging into research, that energy has a space to go, right? And when you can focus it like that, it goes from being retaliatory, resentment, any of those things. It goes into, obviously you're good because you're learning, you're growing, you're doing something positive with it. And every single day you're not focused on the negative, you're not worried about all of the bad things, you're focused on all the good things that you're learning, which means you're positive, you're more empowered, you become more confident. Yeah, it's very cool. It took us a little bit to build, and I got a cut on my finger. The neighbor drilled my finger. It was an accident, but I was like, man, it bled forever. I was like, what is going on? It's just a little nick on my finger, but she drilled it. It was fun. Super fun. But we got it done. That's all that matters. But the idea is that when we learn that we can focus that into whatever it is that we want to do, we allow space for ourselves, and we don't freak out anymore when that anger comes up. We don't freak out anymore when those big emotions come, because we already know I'm not going to explode, because I know I need to advocate for myself. So for me to advocate for myself, what do I need to do? I need to learn. I need to understand. I need to know all of the options, all the sides. So now you're taking that overwhelming energy and you're saying, nope, I'm going to learn. And you might pour into just like me, you might go down some rabbit holes, and instead of like looking up one thing, you're now 6 hours in deep research. You're a professional at whatever it is that you started researching, because 1 hour wasn't enough. And that's okay too, because it will balance out. It's not judging yourself in that moment, but when you learn that stuff and you go focus deep like that, that energy that would have been an explosion, or Miss Grace, boundary, that energy that would have been an explosion on somebody else who didn't deserve it, which would have completed that cycle and sent you down guilt, shame, fear, overwhelm, feeling bad, being mad at yourself, like that whole cycle, it would have sent you down. Instead, you turned it into learning and different ways you can advocate for yourself. Hey, if I tell you again, you're going to miss your dollar store. That's going to be it.
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, sweet dreams, nap time. All right. So the idea is learning what the next responsible step is. And for each person, it doesn't matter. It's going to be what works for you. I don't give you all the answers. What I do is give you a way to find the answer and figure out what's working for you. But the key idea is emotion, awareness, understanding what it is, and then making a better choice. It doesn't even mean have to be the perfect right one, right? Because you learn as you go. But anytime you make a different choice that would have been the explosion, the reaction, the retaliation, any of those things, anytime you make a different choice, you're already winning, right? So add a Q&A sticker. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I had a bad day yesterday. Oh, I'm using the mouse. I had a bad day yesterday and today, feeling guilty and shame for being that angry. Right, and that happens. But don't feel guilty. Um, you felt guilty already. You now know in that moment that you're frustrated, right? Uh, and it's not for you. Don't have to tell me what these things are. But what I want you to do is say, okay, I had a bad day yesterday. What led to the bad day? And it could have been 20 million things. It almost always is. But there's always a trail. Okay, there's always a line. And if you go down that line, so here's where you snapped, right? Here's where you were yelling and angry and frustrated and all of the things that you feel bad for, right? There was many places along this line where something could have changed. And the idea, it doesn't matter where along the line you notice, but if you can notice from here and you can notice back here, hey, if I just took a walk here for that moment, I would have never blown up and I would have never felt guilt and I would have never felt shame. Even if it's right before the blow up, right there, you noticed. And then what happens is you made a different choice. So now there's no blow up, right? And the idea is next time that this happens, not this time, we're not shoulda, woulda, coulda, okay? Yeah, there's no judgment in the anger, right? There's no, it's how could I do that better for next time, right? I was upset and I had every right to feel upset and I had all kinds of things going on and everybody doesn't know all the things that are going on. You're a mom, you have 5 kids. Like, enough said. Enough said. You know what I mean? You're trying to do all these other things and you want to just build things for your family and you have a husband, you have life. Life, and it's okay. And the idea is, instead of feeling guilty or bad for it, yes, it wasn't your best look, right? And I say that all the time. Yeah, it's not my best look. Is there a way that I could do it a little bit better next time? It's not, do I have the right answer for every single time to fix it every single time? Is there something I could do next time that would, before I get to the point of blowing up? Did I notice anywhere on the path, was there somewhere I noticed, man, I'm not feeling real great? I'm feeling agitated, something's not right. You know, wherever on that path where you can say, oh yeah, I wasn't feeling really good here, and maybe I should have did something there. You're not saying it to punish yourself. You're saying, okay, so if I noticed it there, how about next time when I get to this point, that's going to stick in your head because now you noticed where on the pipeline here the trigger was starting, okay? Because it could have been way back here, but you maybe didn't notice it. But you noticed something here. And when you notice something here, you let it go and you didn't say that, right? Yeah. You can't, that's right. And apologize to yourself too. But I need you to also remember, when you make a different choice, when you do those things, you need to notice it. You need to celebrate yourself. You need to say, man, I remembered from last time. That was where the trigger was, and I noticed it this time. And I did something different. And look how my whole day changed, right? Maybe it's not 100% perfect, but you noticed and you made a different choice, which completely changed that whole trajectory for the day, right? We all do. So how I learned this was I was always yelling at Grace, always yelling at her. And I'm loud, first of all, because I've had my eardrums blown out, many abusive situations. But so when I get excited, passionate, even if I'm not mad, I get louder, right? And sometimes I can get really high and not even know that I'm yelling, right? Which sucks. It's an ear thing, but it got to the point where sometimes I would say to Grace, and she'd be like, and I started to feel bad. And then I'm like, well, my mom did that to me. It's not a big deal. And, I was rationalizing this thing where I could see the sadness in her heart. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I know how it made me feel. So why am I justifying it with my kid? Right? And there's no judgment because we all go through that phase, especially when you're trying to do better. You're never going to be perfect. You're going to do things that make you the bad guy. You're going to be the villain somewhere. You're going to stand up for yourself and it's going to piss somebody off. Once you learn to understand that and you start to trust yourself. And when you look at your kids and you see, man, I feel really bad for that. The reason you feel bad for that is because you wouldn't want it done to you. That doesn't mean you punish yourself. That doesn't mean you shame yourself. It doesn't mean you guilt yourself. It means, okay, I noticed and I didn't like that and I didn't like how that made me feel. So if it didn't make me feel good, I know it didn't make them feel good, right? So now you're learning to understand, comprehend, pinpoint, whatever it was, where it started. You may not have all the answers. Yeah, you can't judge yourself. You're never, I'm not saying don't feel bad. We're always going to feel bad when we're not perfect, but don't sit in it. Don't get stuck in that. Say, okay, I didn't like it. It wasn't my best, but I can do better next time, and I know I can. So just noticing it, just whatever that one part, because there's many parts that could have changed. There's always like 1,000 options along the way. But if you can notice one back here, look how far back that is. Look how far back it is before you've blown up. This gives you lots of extra time, extra changes, extra choices to guarantee it doesn't happen again. But when you make that different choice, that different change, that different thought process, that different motion, whatever it may be, you need to say, and it might take a couple minutes because you're learning how to do it in motion. But the idea is once you notice and you make that change, you celebrate yourself. And I mean it. Pat yourself on the back. Man, I did it. I made that change and look how it's going. I feel better. I feel lighter. I advocated for myself without having to yell and you're an asshole and you did this and you did, without having to freak out. I advocated for myself clearly, with a boundary, lovingly, and look how it ended up. They heard me because I wasn't yelling. They listened. Sometimes you still have to yell. You're a mom. It happens, right? And sometimes my kid won't even listen until I raise my voice, right? So, I know that, and we're still trying to work our way down that, but my kid knows she can push me. She knows she can push me because I don't want to yell at her. So she will go until the 10th time, and then I have to yell, right? So knowing that and understanding that is a learning process, and especially as a mom, that's something we go through constantly. So the good thing about going through it constantly is you become so much better at it because you have those times. It could be just completely smooth sailing and then the kids just go haywire, right? Usually it's because there's some kind of emotion or chaos going on. But learning how to make changes when your capacity isn't that, okay, we're going to have an outside day today. I can't deal with all 5 of you right now being crazy, so maybe you're all going to play in this room and Mama's going to have a 10-minute bath or something. Something that just says, it doesn't have to be a bath. It could be whatever, but I'm going to take 10 minutes and journal. Also, if you're like me and you can't concentrate on journaling, it becomes chaotic. It becomes, you're too focused on trying to write everything down and you miss what you're actually thinking. Get your phone out, go to your Google Docs or whatever it is, your voice record, and spew it. It doesn't matter. Don't think about it. Don't judge it. You can delete it afterwards. Don't if it's going to be evidence of you going, I hate everybody and blah, 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 and you delete it after. But for real, just go through and spew what you're feeling in the moment. Say it to the recorder. And of course, voice record is evil. So not only are you going to get a laugh later, when you read back what you're spewing out, what it says, you're going to laugh because you're going to be like, I know I did not say that. But there's always going to be that one little thing where if you tried to write it down, in all of the things trying to write it down, where you would miss. And that's what I'm trying to get everybody to see. When you go to read it back, you're not rewriting everything, but you're going to read it back. And there's going to be that one sentence, that one point that's spewed out, and you're like, oh, I never thought about that. That's the one that you sit down and journal about for 10 minutes. That's the one that you focus on for just a moment, because that's the one that's been hiding back there that you don't even know, and because you're so busy trying to control something, you don't allow it the space to hear it. So when you start practicing that, you give yourself, it's not just journaling, it's knowing that if I just stay journaling, I'm only journaling the same thing because I can't get it all down in my mind fast enough. but many times our mouth will go. We're not judging the spelling. We're not judging any of the things. And it allows that access, right, that would spill over and turn into this crazy reaction. It allows it a space to go. And then you take a moment, and even if you need to walk away for a moment, walk away. But if not, sit back and read it back to yourself. Read what you wrote and go, well, that's just ridiculous. That's insane. That's this. And you can kind of laugh at it a little bit, because when we're angry and we're frustrated, very quickly things turn into survival mode, right? Life or death. Well, what about all these other options? Well, you don't think about them because you go into survival mode. And that is a trauma response. It is a trigger, and it's something that was meant to save you, right? To protect you as a child, keep you safe. But it hinders you as an adult. It's something that you can't carry with you if you want to. Survival is there for emergency purposes, right? That's what it's there for. And unfortunately, when you come from trauma and struggles and chaos and all of the things, that survival, you've been running on survival pretty much your whole life. So learning to come out of that and catch when you're going into that, 3113 on the clock, as I said that. Learning how to do that is where you can really make change. And that's what I'm trying to teach everybody. And I know it very well because I've walked through this fire 500,000 times. I've had to rebuild from nothing. I get something, start doing really well, and then lose it all again. I've been through trauma, betrayal. I can't even begin to talk. And it's not a story time of who did what. It's when you've been through the fire enough times, you learn very quickly to trust yourself. And when you start trusting yourself and you start noticing the things that you've already been doing, because that's really what I'm trying to teach everybody. You're already doing it. And if you're already doing it just a little bit, and you put that focus just to you a little bit, say, man, I deserve a cookie. I deserve a pat on the back. I deserve a flower. I deserve that hot cup of tea. I deserve whatever it is, that moment to say, thank you. Thank you for showing up and doing the right thing. You made that choice. Look yourself in the mirror and say it. Affirm your greatness. I'm getting better every single day. I'm showing up. I'm doing better. I'm loving myself and loving my kids, my husband, my family, everyone around me more because I'm loving myself first. Look at yourself in the mirror and say it. Speak it into existence. What are you into now? Are you starving? You're lying. She said yeah. She's had bacon, croissants, fruit, half a chocolate bar already. I don't even know what else. And it's not even, it's just now noon. That kid is spoiled. Oh, she's had some grapes and some cantaloupe, a watermelon. Oh, she's out of control. Out of control, this kid. All right, so I know I kind of go in there a little bit, and the reason I'm talking about it is because I want you to notice anywhere along the path. Because when that noticing and the giving yourself grace in that moment, saying, I'm allowed to feel this, but I still have to find a different way forward. And yes, there's a pause. We don't go backwards or spiral. There is always going to be a pause. But when we understand that we can learn to do it in motion, so we don't really stop. There's that quick pause. You become better and better at it. So you trust your decisions more. You become more empowered. You know you're not doing it out of reaction. You're not doing it out of retaliation, out of anger or getting even or any of those things. You're saying, okay, this is the best choice, and I don't want to snap, and I don't want to aggravate a situation, but I need to advocate for myself. So when you learn how to do that, and it does take time, but there's a balance, and you begin to walk that line. And as you're walking that line for yourself to stay in balance, because you don't want to be extreme pushover, and you don't want to be freaking out every moment. So learning to balance that is very key. But once you do that, you walk forward and you're always going to be confident. You're going to know that whatever happens, I now have the tools in the tool belt. I know if I got to walk away for a moment, I'm allowed to. No is a single sentence, right? It's okay to say no and not explain yourself. You know, those are things, yes, maybe sometimes you feel like you have to, but chances are you don't. No is a full sentence. And understanding that, especially when you have kids, is a huge thing. So the idea is, right, the noticing was the fire and flow. Anger shows up, it's information, something matters, right? So now we want to find out what it is that matters, what it's trying to show you, why it made you angry. Was closing the shop. Welcome back. Oh, are you done for the? Oh, it's probably late there, eh? What time is it? Oh, it's 12 here, 12 p.m. So at noon. So it's probably close to that there. Because he's like 12 hours. You're where Goga is too, right? Same area, kind of? Because I think he was 12 hours ahead of me. Yeah, 11 p.m. I knew. Yeah. Anastasia is nighttime. She's almost bedtime now. I remember, and Sundays every morning I watch Goga. That's the church community. I love it so much. It's where he does interviews, different creators, and very inspiring, very great, really fantastic community. But it's always nighttime for so many of them, right? Yeah, it's really great though. You have to check it out. Have you been there, Kay? I'll have to share it to you and send you an invite. It's really, really nice. You can just, even if you have the kids going on, put it in your ear and listen as a podcast. It's always inspirational. It's good people, and you get to learn people's greatest strengths. It's a good space. I love it. All right. So, the information, something matters. I want you to learn and understand what it is, and I want you to get quicker at it. And I can want all I want. I'm saying that, but I need you to understand that you have to want it. Because if I'm just telling you, I can try to push you there all day long. But if you feel like you're being pushed, you're not going to do it. You have to want to do it. But when you notice what it is, you're like, hey, why am I getting so angry? And a lot of times you don't even know, right? Because it's something back. It's in the programming from when you were a 6-year-old. It was a programming from when you just started school. It was a programming from some teenage trigger that you didn't even know that actually went back, right? So the idea is when we notice the information, it's like, why did that happen? What is that trying to tell me, right? And then saying, it's okay. I'm giving myself grace. I'm allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to feel it. I don't have to be ashamed of it. I don't have to be mad. I have every reason to validate my own anger and understand what it is. That doesn't mean we explode, right? I'm learning different ways to be accountable and to show up differently. But that doesn't mean you have to pack it away. You're allowed to feel what you feel. So giving yourself grace in that moment to feel what you feel. And sometimes like things like grief and all those things, they take what they take. But it doesn't mean that they're always there just going at you, right? There's going to be times where they come up. Okay, that's still back from something that happened, and I feel a lot of grief and sadness for that, and you're allowed to feel that, and that's giving yourself that time, right? Giving yourself that patience and saying, letting people know around you too. You know, the people that you trust, right? I'm feeling a little sad today. You know, something came up. I'm not feeling great, and allowing them to see that and give you the space. And sometimes people just, you know, I just want you to sit with me. I don't want to hear advice. I just want you to sit with me. And sometimes when you speak that, you know for yourself, you start to learn, yeah, I don't want advice. I just want someone to sit with me. And when you start to learn and understand that, you become more confident because you know how to advocate for yourself. You know how to say, I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to pick me up and tell me you can do it. I just want you to sit, I just don't want to be alone. I just want you to sit here with me. And when you can, that's advocating for yourself. That's saying, I don't have the capacity to talk or feel bad or try to figure out what it is right now. What I have the capacity for is this feeling, and this doesn't feel good right now, and I don't know what to do with it, but I don't want your explanation on how to deal with it. I just want you to sit with me. That's advocating for yourself. That is something that you need to celebrate for yourself. That's saying, I understand, I may not understand everything, but I know in this moment and what I'm feeling, I don't have the capacity for anything else but this. Right? That doesn't mean get lost in it, because while you're in it, you're still going to find what's my next step, okay? What is the anger pointing to? What is the grief pointing to? What is the boundary or change that needs to happen? And we're not going to get lost in it, but it's just starting to ask yourself that. Have space for your time, for yourself. learn how to advocate, and it's just ask those questions to yourself, for yourself, and then say it. What is my next step? How do I get there? How do I avoid this feeling? And for anger, it's a lot easier, right? Because there are things that you can do to avoid that feeling. You can't control everything, but when people are being angry or mean or cruel, you can be like, yeah, um, they're probably having a bad day, and just walk away and let it go, right? Or if they're being outwardly rude, say, I'm not okay with that. You know, you have a good day. We don't be rude or fight back. We just say, you know, I gotta go. I don't want to be around that, and speak up for yourself, right? That's advocating for yourself. Um, and then it's just finding out what it's pointing to, understanding what it is, and then figuring out what boundary needs to be changed. Maybe those people, places, or things always make you feel that way. Every single time you feel drained, you feel um, left out, upset, agitated because of their behaviors. And if it's a constant thing, then maybe it's like, maybe I should slow it down, going around them. Or maybe I should speak up and say, I don't know what it is. You guys are always creating chaos. Maybe it's people gossiping or something. Like, I'm just trying to give examples. But you feel uncomfortable about it, and leaving, when you leave from that area, you don't feel good. You feel drained. You feel exhausted, frustrated, anxious, all those things. Then maybe the next time you say, I don't really feel good talking about this subject. And if they continue talking, then you just walk away, right? You just have to understand, I don't have the capacity for that, and have the ability to walk away. And then when you do that, you need to celebrate yourself. Look, I made a different choice, and look where my day is going now, right? And the idea is, when we bring it all together, when we roll it through, that's the alchemy. That's alchemy in motion. So, and energy, emotion is just energy in motion. So when we're feeling things, learning how to... Grace, what are you doing? What did you just drop? What did you just drop? If I go in there, is it broken? It better not be. What was it, Grace? I'm telling you, you're gonna keep going till you break your head, and then you're not gonna be happy. Yeah, okay, break your head and then see how you feel. You're gonna be so happy. She's got a bad attitude. I wonder where she gets it from. All right, so yeah, the idea is that we're turning reaction into intention. So at the end of this, which we're pretty much almost done now, it was just learning how to understand what the anger is teaching us, right? Oh, I'm feeling angry, and wherever it is on that spectrum, I'm feeling it. As soon as you know you're feeling agitated, irritated, stop. Why? What is it? Don't get mad at yourself. Don't shame yourself. None of those things. Why am I feeling that? What is it why I feel it? I feel that agitation. And if you listen to your body, it becomes easier. And you notice it a lot sooner. But as soon as you start noticing it, oh, what is that? Where do you come from? I recognize you, right? It comes a lot quicker and a lot easier. You don't have to stop anymore. You might pause for a moment, take a breath, and go, oh, we're going to do something different. This is agitating me. Immediately, you're going to be like, okay, I already see where this is going, and I don't like when that happens. So how about right here, we just make a different choice. And you cut off all that other aggravation, anger, and in that different choice, you gave yourself grace because you already know what was going to happen if you continued down that path. You know what it ends up like. And then you decided to be accountable because you said, I'm going to make a different choice. You did like 5 different really, really big actions and really, really big changes in just one decision, right? All these micro decisions. And the idea that I'm trying to teach everybody is you already do it. You've survived this far, so you've already been doing it. You just haven't been noticing when you do it. So you do it in the big things, right? These crazy big things that really could go haywire quick, and you're like, okay, I got out of there, everything's good. But in the getting out of there, the warning was there to say, okay, something happened here and I missed what it was. I did the right thing. I got away. I got out of it, but is there a way I could have avoided it back here? And that will go all the way back to personal accountability, business accountability, systemic harm. I mean, when I tell you the detail and the depth in which I have researched, learned, understand all of this on the entire spectrum, I've mastered it at this point. When you understand, no matter where you are on the spectrum, one small choice can make a huge, huge change. And the idea isn't that nobody's doing it. The idea is that people are doing it, but not enough. Or they're doing it halfway and missing a step. And the idea is if I can get you to notice those little steps and celebrate yourselves for noticing, you become more empowered. You understand it a lot better. And when you go to make that decision, you trust yourself because every time I pause here and I make a different decision, it ends beneficial, right? Something wins, and the universe will show you all the time. There'll always be a little win. And then maybe this small little check just pops up. You got some deposit you didn't know was coming. Some surprise. You find $5 on the thing. You go to the red light. Or you go to get over and somebody slows down and lets you in. Once you start noticing those things, you'll see every time you make those different micro choices, the universe sends you micro choices, little gifts, little wins, like little celebrations, and it's really great. Karen alert, Mike Cluley, welcome. I love that. LOL, what? I don't know. Maybe I'm a Karen. I don't have the time or energy to tell on anybody, or create struggle, but welcome. I'm going to pull a couple just to confirm the message because I always do that. If I can find the cards that I want a self-care always. I want my angel number, this one. There it is. Okay. So if y'all been listening, if you're new, you're not gonna know if these confirm. But if you've been here, 1000%, you'll know they confirm the message. We're talking about the anger, alchemy, emotion, how we solve the problem before it becomes a reaction, an explosion, or any of the craziness. So, can I have one self-care card on the message today? How we're showing up, turning reaction into intention. Fall 7 times and stand up 8. Reflect on your ups and downs over time. It's been quite a journey. What can you offer to others today as they move through these same waters? Right? What can you share with others? How are we teaching our kids? How are we showing up for ourselves? Right? It's not the confirmation. It's not about making 1,000. It's not about being perfect. There is no perfect. Okay. It's about showing up. It's about awareness, right? Self-awareness, not perfection. And when we start to learn and understand that, we start to trust ourselves. Doesn't matter how many times, if you're here today, right now, have the ability to look and watch and see, you've already overcome every single thing you've been through. Now you just have to start celebrating that. And how did I overcome that? What was it? We're not going to dig deep and wallow in it, but sometimes it's okay to pull from the past here and there. How did I get through that? What choices? Because there are going to be choices you made that were really shitty, and then there's going to be choices you made that were amazing, right? And the idea is understanding both of them and why those choices were made. And it doesn't mean we have to go back and sort through them, but when new things come up that are similar to any of these old situations, before the reaction happens, before the thing happens, you can say, oh, I've been here before. I know this very well. And what did I do last time? Oh, that didn't end real well. That was not my favorite. So, and we know not to do that. So how about we try something else? And that literally, all of those decisions and all of those things happen like this. It's literally like that. The idea is, as you're pausing, as you're learning, it's going to become even quicker. It's like, go, right? And that's what I'm trying to teach you is you're already doing it. You've already been doing it. But when you start noticing it and understanding it, you start celebrating yourself. You become more confident. Um, and in turn, you're going to get back up just like every other time. I love that one. It's actually one of my favorite cards. And I do these, the only reason I do this is because when I'm giving the right message and I'm explaining it properly, the whole world needs to know this. We need to reevaluate, right? We need to understand that we're constantly changing. We're constantly learning. No one is perfect. And if they tell you you're perfect, they're lying. You just literally laugh and walk away. Because if you continue to think you're perfect, I promise you, the universe is going to show you very quickly you're not. The chance to boost health and vitality leads to satisfaction. Moon and Virgo. And then it says contentment. You already have all of your amazingness. You have all the tools you need. You have everything you could ever possibly want and need already inside you. The answers are already there. You already have the experience, the lived experience, the good, the bad, the ugly. And the idea is instead of judging ourselves for them, instead of punishing ourselves and cycling and self-sabotage and all those things, I've already been through them. Did I walk through them all gracefully? No. Can I go back and say, okay, in that moment, did I do the best that I could in the moment with what I knew? What I knew? Yes. Okay, so do I need to be punished for that? No. Can I do better than that next time? Yes. Am I going to be perfect? Probably not. But it's going to be better than last time. That's all you're doing. You're just going to show up as trial and error. But when you start learning and understanding yourself, you trust yourself much, much more. We got two, eh? Accomplish scale mountains to gain a sense of achievement. Moon in Capricorn, and it says accomplishment. Every step, baby steps, small, bite-sized steps. That's why when I lay it out, when I teach what I teach, you can go back and look at all of my episodes. I'm teaching you the bite-sized steps. I'm not teaching you to do it all in one day, to figure it all out. You got to be perfect. I'm teaching you that if you make one little micro decision, one little micro change, one little, oh, I've been there before. That didn't feel good. I didn't like that. Let's try something different. You've already made 10 micro decisions right there and changed the entire trajectory because you noticed it. Just because you noticed it. And then you didn't punish yourself. You remember it didn't feel good. You didn't like how it felt. You give yourself grace for that. Yeah, it wasn't my best look. You know, I'm not proud of it, but I learned from it, and that's okay. We're not hiding about it. We're not going to be shamed for it, right? And then we have, should I stay or go? Moon in Gemini, indecision. You're not stuck anymore in indecision. You know, you're learning not to be stuck in indecision. I shouldn't say you're not stuck in it because we're always going to get to that point where there's a crossroads and we have to make that decision whether to come or go, how to behave, how to respond, how to advocate for ourselves. But instead of staying stuck in that indecision, you're now saying that indecision is meant for me to sit and go back. That's where you go back. Are you okay, kid? She's trashing her room there. It's for you to understand that you go back and those lessons that you've learned, the ones you've already overcome, are there. They're meant to teach you exactly that. They teach you, go back to those memories for a moment and say, hey, how did that make me feel? What did I do then? They're there. And trust me, if it's coming up over and over, that memory is coming up because it's trying to teach you. That's the one thing that you can learn from. That's that one change that if you make that change and you continue to make a different decision there, that's where the biggest movement in your life is going to be. And you're not going to know that until you start showing up and trusting yourself. But it really is a good thing to understand. Grace, can you stop slamming doors, please? I love you. We got two of them. Vulnerability and the infinite. And I'm going to read, give me one sec. Okay, I don't trust you messing with the cupboard. Get your juice box and sit down. If you keep slamming doors, we're going to fight. Why did you put shorts on over your pants? You're a weirdo. I love you. All right, so 56. Also, angel number 56. If you do If angel numbers call to you like they do me, go look them up. There's always going to be an extra message. Oh, it's the last card, eh? Yeah, it was. Okay. So vulnerability, real strength, holding space, healing past wounds, accepting yourself as you are, sharing from the depths of your heart, raw truths, compassion for others, and removing your armor. Our vulnerability can be one of the greatest gifts we can share. It can also be the hardest. In our society, we are conditioned to put on a facade, to be strong even in times of difficulty. Paradoxically, being vulnerable is one of the strongest things we can be. It is easy to armor ourselves from the harsh truths that may be too painful to bring to the light of day. However, this causes greater suffering as buried pain becomes shadows. Unprocessed negative experiences can incarnate as much more troublesome traits or insecurities than their origin. When we are truly honest with ourselves in all our facets, we are vulnerable. That honesty is an important step in discovering our shadows and bringing them into light for healing. Furthermore, when we share our vulnerabilities with others, we allow them to glimpse a deeper part of ourselves. This is the fertile soil for trust. It plants the seeds for others to share the places that are most raw or tender for them. Our closest friendships can be formed in this space. The times when we feel too uncomfortable to reach out to others can be the very times we need them the most. Having compassion and awareness of the struggle and disorientation others may be going through is a valuable contribution to the world. Holding space where others can be vulnerable is a key element of healing work. Self-love is also connected to our ability to be vulnerable, as it allows us to be true to ourselves exactly as we are without judgment. Be vulnerable with yourself or others. It may also be time to step into the role of a healer and hold space. Holding space means being fully present without judgment, and that means for yourself too. In a way that provides a safe and nurturing environment, the same way you would for your kids. You have to do it for you. In this place, guards can be dropped, a deeper level of awareness and relating can unfold. Enabling unconditional love and acceptance allows for vulnerabilities to be expressed, for the core of dis-ease to be discovered, and for profound healing to take place. And if that is not confirmation of what I was just talking about, I don't know what is. And then there's this one. And the reason I read this one, it's earlier in the card deck, but I read this one, I'm going to read this one now, because that vulnerability is the stage, right? And you have to get vulnerable with yourself. You don't have to get vulnerable to the world right away, but you have to get vulnerable with yourself, because until you learn to sit with yourself and until you learn to be vulnerable and understand what it is that is tender, what it is that makes you react, what those triggers are, you're always going to cut yourself off and you're going to miss the point of all of the things, and you're going to pile it back and you're going to feel that guilt, shame, and it's going to continue that cycle of reaction, retaliation, shame, fear, guilt, all of those things. And when you start being vulnerable enough with yourself to sit and see what it is, and just sit with yourself and trust yourself, that's when you can really make change. And eventually you will be able to be vulnerable with other people. But don't rush to do that right away. Worry about being vulnerable with yourself first, so you can communicate it to yourself till you can understand it. Because until you can understand it and explain it to yourself, how can you explain it to anyone else that wants to help you? So I really feel like learning to show up for yourself is the best space you could be at. And the only way to do that is to be vulnerable. And if you know what we've been talking about this whole time, you definitely know that this confirms it. But I read this one because after the vulnerability, even though this card is before it in the deck, listen. The external life force, cycles of growth, rising from the ashes, many deaths and rebirth within one's life. You are so much more than your physical body. The beings in Lemuria are set. Grace, you gotta lower your voice, please. I'm almost done. Thank you. Sit down.
You don't love me.
I love you so much, but I'm still not gonna put up with it. Thank you. The beings in Lemuria are said to have lived for many hundreds of years. As they were only partially incarnated, their bodies were much lighter, less physically actualized, and less affected by aging. They were also aware of their infinite nature. The Lemurians were multidimensional beings and regularly traversed realms other than the physical, including the places before and after death. As we become aware that we are so much more than our physical bodies, we may experience a sense of the eternal. Thus, fear around death gives way to recognizing new beginnings. So we remember what is real and focus on what we wish for this life. Whatever we believe will happen when our body goes back to the earth, we can live to the fullest while we are here in this incarnation. You may feel like you have led many lives and expressed different faces to the world. We can experience many, many deaths and rebirths as we allow outdated parts of ourselves to fall away. When we choose to align ourselves with our spirit, we may find we experience more of these mini deaths. They can be daunting, but are fast-tracking our growth to prepare us for the shining new chapter that beckons. This is a card of rebirth, and it can appear after challenges that have required a level of surrender. You have arrived at a beginning. Revel in your newfound inner freedom. Blockages have fallen away, doors are opening, and there are opportunities to step into. Stretch your wings and see how far they can reach. Rise from the ashes like a phoenix, born anew, ready for a new cycle of growth. Are you okay? Celebrate, honor the road that brought you here, and prepare to take flight with the tools you have gathered through your elevation process. And that's why I always explain it like I do, the tools in your belt. I'm trying to make sure you have all the tools in your tool belt. Because to me, we don't stay still. We're always ever moving. And no matter how many deaths and rebirths, and trust me, I've lost count. I don't even know. And we're constantly ascending. And every time we give way to some old programming or we unlearn something, that's a mini death, okay? And sometimes they're painful. Sometimes having to get rid of that ego and let it go and sit with ourselves in those moments where we really just want to be victim and we want everyone to feel sorry for us because something happened and we didn't like it, you know. There's always going to be those moments when we realize the only way it's going to change is if I make a change. If I decide to do something different, if I stand up and do something. And that's where the rising through the ashes is. You let go of that negative crap and then you say, I'm making room for this. And whatever this decision takes me, even if it's not my best decision, it's going to be better than the one I made before. And then, hello, I have B2 Vibes. Welcome. You have what? How are you? I hope you're doing good. And then I'm going to pull an angel number on this mess. Is that the one? Yeah? You're just going to sit there? That was quick.
You don't
50.
love me.
We're not doing that today.
You don't love me.
Don't growl at me. You think I don't love you? You really think that? Yeah? Oh, okay. Well, you're going to have to... Where are you from? I'm from Canada. Where are you from? She put on jeans. She put on jeans this morning. She got dressed, and then she just decided to add shorts onto her jeans because she wants to go out styling. India, very cool.
I want to go to the doctor.
We're going, but you have to let me finish. I'm almost done. The more you distract me, the longer it's going to take.
How do I look at
You look beautiful as always.
No, I don't.
What do you mean?
I'm a baby.
You are my baby. Look at her little, she's such a little fake whiner. Okay.
I'm on TV.
Okay, I'm almost done. I love you. Now go sit down.
I want to have baby Luca.
Okay, go hug baby Luca. Actually, she did good for most of the distractions. I can't even get mad. Okay, so angel number is 1551. So you start seeing that all over the place. It's going to be twofold. One, it's meant for you to notice. Okay? Notice that this message is always going to be aligned to you. That's what it means. It will mean that what I've been telling you very much aligns, and there's something that you can learn from it. Second, it's telling you to stop, get present. I'm going to read the card in a second, but it's telling you to stop, get present. How are you feeling? What's going on around you? What are people talking about? What's playing on the radio? What's playing on the TV? What are the kids doing? Just get very, very present. Notice what's going on around you. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if there's something that's creating that grace. Enough. Last warning. Understand what that means. And there's a reason for that, okay? This one says hold your vision, and I'm going to read it to you in a second. But the reason I'm explaining it like that is because that's what this message is. And especially because it's talking about anger. When you start seeing that number everywhere, anger doesn't usually come from just one thing. It comes from little things, little things, little things, and they just add up, and it becomes, you know, push to the boundary, push, 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 and then the boundary hasn't been crossed quite yet. Usually it's just been being poked, right? And which is even worse than crossing the boundary, because it's like you don't want to overreact. You're not sure what to do with it, so they just keep poking, poking, poking. And I'm saying they, but it could be people, places, things. It could be suggestions. It could be all kinds of things. So when you start seeing that number around, it's telling you, notice what's going on around you. Get really, really present. How are you feeling your body? What's going on? What are you thinking? What were you saying in the moment? Whatever happens, because that's going to be a clue to how it's going to help you make a better decision. Now, it says, hold your vision, manifestation. And by the way, when we're angry and we're spewing out all that negativity because we've reacted, when we're angry and we're thinking all those negative thoughts because we're mad, right? And we're allowed to be mad sometimes. But what we're doing, because we're always manifesting new things, new and greater things. So when you're manifesting, do you want to manifest negativity, more anger, more reasons to be stressed and angry and upset? Like, they're just learning opportunities is all they are. They're just going to make you stronger, better. Eventually you will see. But do you want to manifest more of that, or do you want to manifest good things, right? I choose to be present in this moment. I choose to feel how I feel and figure out where I'm going from there. We don't have to be manifesting the sun, the moon, the stars right now. In those moments when we're trying to figure out and understand what it is, you can manifest the answers just by saying, I choose to be present. I choose to understand. I choose to find the answer why this is upsetting me, what it is, to find a better path forward. And then what happens? The universe will open up a path forward that allows you to see what it is. Okay? It will pop in. It'll be a flash of an idea. It will be something you see on a TV. It'll be somebody standing on the next street corner saying some weird sentence that probably would have never heard, but then you did catch it and it was exactly the answer you needed. That's the universe. That's God. That's how it works. And when you start understanding that you're always manifesting, use that, take that time, be present, use that mouth of yours to be, and that mind of yours to be manifesting your greatness and other people's greatness around you, not more negativity. There's enough of that in the world. So hold your vision. Make sure it's a good one. Hold it. Speak it into existence every day. Abundance, manifestation, abundance, prosperity, dreams, vision, success. That's what we're manifesting. And when we learn and process and learn through this anger and understand what it means, that's what we're doing. Because we're learning how to overcome it, how to master it, how to be personally accountable, and how to master our own dreams, our own successes, and finding the pathway through a million baby steps. It doesn't matter. You're going to get there. Focus on the positive and keep your attention on the outcomes you desire. Not the ones you don't want, the ones you desire. And if it's just sometimes just desiring that moment of peace. I just want peace. Focus on that. I'm at peace. It's coming. I'm finding my way to peace. And I promise you, you will find those moments. Even if it starts 30 seconds, it will expand out to minutes. You just got to keep practicing it and keep showing up. It will be there. And the thing is, you've already been doing it. The problem is the negativity, the anger, the reactions, the shame, the guilt, the fear, they pile on over that. And then all that goodness you've already been doing gets lost in it. What I'm trying to teach you is don't let that dig it down. Don't let it bury it, right? Keep it present and in the forefront by celebrating yourself, by noticing it, by celebrating it, by dreaming, by speaking it into existence. And you'll see very quickly how much it changes. Now is the time to invest your faith and energy into your ideas, pursuing your goals with all your strength. Your spirit is beautiful, courageous, and brave. Embrace it as you work towards your dreams. Every single day you show up, every single day you make a different decision, you notice where you went wrong, and get rid of the shame, fear, guilt, okay? Understand that as we're learning, we grow. If you didn't know better or you didn't have a better way then, you're saying, okay, I didn't have a better way. So how can I find a better way? Right? If you already know you didn't have the better way, instead of freaking out on yourself saying, okay, that wasn't my best, how do I find a better way? You've already changed that explosion, reaction, retaliation to your highest best answer because you're trying to find out what the better way is. Even if you don't have all the answers, you turn anger into curiosity, anger into, okay, accountability. It wasn't my best. I understand that. But I'm not going to wallow in it. I'm not going to punish myself. How can I do better next time? That's where you're winning. And every single time, you're manifesting your greatness. Every single time you ask for a different result and show up expecting a different result and make a different choice, you're going to guarantee yourself a different result. And each time you make a better choice, you're going to see the results get better and better. And then you're going to start celebrating yourself more. And then you're going to trust yourself more. And then everything is going to be more and more empowered. Do you see how that cycle works? I'd much rather be in that cycle that moves me upward, forward, better choices, better decisions, and more empowerment than be stuck in the guilt, shame, fear, all of those ones. Give me just a few. I really like the affirmation cards. How many we got? 3. Give me 2 more. I don't want to. Just 2 more. Make them good, please. I really love the affirmations. I'll do. Okay, 1 more. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Bottom of the deck. I welcome healthy, loving relationships. And the only way to do that is to start with yourself. 111 on the clock. Thank you. You have to start with yourself. You have to be the most healthy relationship there ever was to bring that in. And when you have healthy relationships around you, kids, family, lovers, when you have that around you, you need to celebrate them. And you also, that vulnerability. And yes, it may take a moment for you to be vulnerable with yourself first so you know how to say it. But it's okay to say, I'm trying to figure out, I'm running, sleeping. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? You're running, sleeping. Can you see me and hear me? I mean, I'm sleep. Oh, you're sleeping. Is that what you? Oh, you're going to bed. I look like Karen. Well, that's good. I don't know who Karen is, but I'm sure she's beautiful. Remember me, Ron Jackman? Were you just here a few minutes ago? Okay, Anastasia. I thought you said my thing was sleeping. I'm like, I don't know how that works. Well, welcome back. Y'all can pop in and out all you want. I'm good. I'm almost done. I'm just at the affirmation part. That's so funny. I was like, oh no, what happened? Did I mess it up? But we're good. It doesn't matter. We wing it. Your eye color is beautiful. Are they real? Yeah. They're the ones God gave me. They're beautiful because when I smile, they disappear. You can't see them anymore. So I'm just kidding. I used to get picked on all the time, and I think it's funny. But when you have little eyes, you got to have bright colors so they can see that they're there. All right. Attacking others is an attack on myself. I choose to release this now. So the reason this affirmation is coming up, if you were listening to the rest of the talk, that one's coming up because when you react, right, when you go to your anger and you react, the first thing you do is when you explode, what happens? It goes to that shame, that guilt, that fear, right? You're attacking yourself. When you respond or react to somebody and you shout out or call them a name or whatever it is, when you react like that, even if in that moment it feels so great, 10 seconds later, not even probably, you start to feel that guilt, shame, you automatically feel bad. So when you understand that and you look at this and you think about that, attacking others is an attack on myself. I choose to release this now. You're actually making a choice and you're saying, I choose to do better and I don't want to do this anymore. And every single time I respond or react like that, I feel that guilt, shame, and fear. Why? Because I attacked them and immediately I felt it right back. So when you understand that, you're explaining that to yourself and you're reminding yourself to make a better decision because what happens is it always ends up you feeling bad, right? And then I can expand time when I'm inspired. When you want to learn, when you're trying to understand, when you're being curious, when you're trying to figure out what it is uh, along the way to the path before reaction, to understanding what the anger is, the time will expand. As you're learning and understanding, it creates space for you. And when you expand that time, it's more space, and that space of peace grows. And that's where balance creeps in because you don't go to extremes anymore. You're finding a way to walk that line, and every time you come into balance, that amount of peace, that it expands out, and it really is, it's beautiful. And then we have, when I move my body, I feel empowered, cleansed, and strong. And this one's important because in those moments when you're not, where you're getting to the point of anger where it's actually going to be an explosion or a reaction to someone, especially on someone that doesn't deserve it, go for a run. Go run in the backyard. Go run around the block for a moment. Go pick up go do some dishes. Go sweep your floor. Go scrub something. Whatever it is, go paint something. Find something that in that moment before you get to that, where it lets you expel that initial burst of energy so it doesn't become a reaction. You're doing something inspiring, you're doing something better instead of that. And then while you're doing that, it allows you to process. It gives you that space to understand, check it out, and find a better way forward. And it teaches you a way to learn. You can channel that energy into inspiration, to creating content, into doing research, into understanding how to learning how to advocate for yourself. It turns into all things beneficial for you when you don't just let it get to a place of explosion. And if I can get you to a point where you understand it and you're celebrating it along the way and you're walking that balanced line, when life starts lifing and goes over here, instead of exploding and feeling bad every single time, you just come back because you know how to come back. And you come back without guilt, fear, or shame, which means you have more energy for empowering, learning, inspiration, for creation, not destruction, creation. That's what I'm trying to teach. And then when I lead from a place of love, people respect me. When you come out of anger, resentment, retaliation, people shy away. They already feel it immediately. They know that it's not true because what you're saying or doing is out of anger, and they can see it, they can feel it, they know it. When you lead from love, because you've given yourself the space to check in with yourself, to find out the actual answer, to make that decision out of clarity, out of understanding, and out of love for yourself first, and then inherently everybody else around you, when you lead from that, people are going to trust and respect your decisions. Why? Because they can tell it's not from retaliation or anger or resentment or any of those things. Speak it into existence. Let the world know. Let yourself know. Remind yourself. When I lead from love, people respect me. Not from anger, not from resentment. Focus on the things that you can do, right? And it just takes a moment. And when you speak it into existence, you allow that space for yourself. Can I sing you a song? You don't want me to sing you a song. I cannot sing. Instead of taking on the fear of others, I reflect love. Don't let other people's projections decide how you feel, think, or behave. The only one you should ever think, care, or feel about is yourself. Inherently, if you're doing everything on your best behalf with the intention of the highest best good for all, you're never going out there trying to hurt anyone. You're never gonna, freak out or lose it on somebody else. Wayne, you can sing. If you go live, I will join as soon as I'm done here, and then you can sing us a song. That would be great. I will have to practice singing if y'all don't want to go deaf.
Mommy, how do I look? What?
You look beautiful.
Who do I look? What?
You look like me. You're my mini-me, duh. Put your shirt down. All right, that's what I have for today. I just wanted to confirm the message. Kay, are you still here? I'm not sure.
Mama, I have a baby in my tummy.
No, you better not. Don't even joke about it, bud. Not funny.
It's the because my cat.
Okay, I gotta get off here and then we can go.
She's my
All right,
baby.
that's what I have. I'm gonna have to upload this. Maybe I'll do it as part 2 or something for the alchemy in motion. Tomorrow I'll be doing the energy check-in, seeing what's going on in the energy. People want to come in and ask questions. Hey, you're not letting me talk. Remember the boundary. If you want to ask questions, understand. If you want, go check out my website, CreativityGuidesMe, for my healing tools, teas, rituals, bath soaks, all the good stuff. I have my PayPal link and buy me a coffee or something. If you want to donate and help create the content. I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to say. I'm trying to remember. All of that stuff. Anyway, it's in my bio. I love and appreciate everybody that shows up. We are slowly working our way through this. If you're interested in more of the healing stuff, I have the Fire and Flow series. I have the Grace and the Grind series and the Accountability. And now this is the Alchemy in Motion. So there's lots to go through if you're interested, lots to learn. And I'll be back next week for episode 3, and that is The Fear is a Mirror. Which is really a good one, because when you get past that, then real change can happen. And tomorrow's the check-in, and the monthly for fire signs. All that will be, not just fire signs, fire, water, earth, air, will be all next week. So we're almost caught up. We're almost good to go. I hope you guys have a great day. I appreciate everyone for showing up, and I keep trying to use the mouse. I don't know why. But I will be here tomorrow, probably, I would say probably 12 o'clock or so. I'll be here for energy check-in. So if you have the questions and all those things that you want answered, as long as we're not asking what our ex-boyfriend's doing or if they're going to ever come back, any other questions about you and your life and things going on, I have no problem answering them. So if you're interested in that, come by tomorrow. I should be here 12 o'clock my time, which is PST. Sorry, I have to remember Mountain Time. Anyways, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I hope you have a great day. I appreciate y'all. Go check out all the replays and my website if you are interested in one-on-ones. Have a good day. I love you.